Sit down and call the pledge. Would you all join us, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? Yeah. Wait for you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. There, okay, with that, we'll call the select board for the town of Damariscotta to order for a regular meeting for April 15th. Before we roll into too much, Andy has sent out, there's a memo there, Andrea, that just goes on with official action items number 5, so we can discuss as we get there. And then, Andy, I haven't passed this out yet, but this is a discussion item.
Yeah, we can share that when we get into discussion.
For later on, yeah, there's a packet here with none of us have really looked at yet, so it'll be coming through, so. Other than that, we are missing 2 board members tonight. They're off, where are they, off on the continent?
Tom's at the Lincoln County Regional Planning Commission annual meeting.
That's right, he's doing that one, then he's headed, yeah, and then, yeah.
That's what I understood anyways.
I think so. Yeah, sounds good, so. Yeah. So, yeah, we can dive right into it. So, we do have the minutes of April 1st. Tom's not here to criticize your punctuation, so I don't know. I did not see anything that jumped out to me.
I paid attention.
Yeah. Dan had sent an email. And I forgot to write down, I thought he had a correction on there. Are you pulling it up?
And look real quick.
Yeah.
I knew he sent one the last time. That was the furnace tax instead of fair.
Right, yeah.
tax.
I was just looking at it earlier and I meant to write it down what it was.
Um, nothing about the minutes.
It wasn't on the minutes, okay.
No, he had a comment about budget committee and my notes about the grant.
The grant notes, okay. I got the budget committee one, but I misread that other one. Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, if nothing there, I'll make a motion to move the minutes of April 1st. You second, thank you, Andrea, second, all right. Any discussion? I'm looking this way, there's nobody over here. All right, all those in favor? Okay, I need all 3, we're good. All right, payroll warrant number 45. Nothing jumping out there, looks pretty straightforward. I'll move payroll warrant 45.
Second.
Daryl seconds. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, we got that one, and I'll move accounts payable number 46 as well.
Second.
Daryl seconds, thank you, Daryl. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, housekeeping done. Citizen comments, general correspondence, anything come in last minute?
Just some positive feedback from the public workshops around the Main Street planning. And someone called and left a message today just to inform the staff that they're doing a great job and having great confidence in leading up to the elections.
Awesome. That's good. That's
I
good.
just came in today.
That's good. That's nice. Okay. All right, cool. I don't see anybody up there and you guys are waiting for your moment, right? So, all right, we'll move right on here. So, Andy, your report. Did everybody get a chance to go through and take a peek and anything jumping right out to anybody?
for me.
I don't wanna talk about the F-550 at all. Let's just move on. Yeah, I think everybody knows that we've had, there's been a lot of trouble with that truck and then more, so.
Considering its
It's-
age, shouldn't it?
It's very frustrating.
We've
So,
expedited, at this point, we're gonna try and find it, trade it in, with something that's ready to go. We were gonna try and spec out something that might be catered more specifically to, I think one of the things John had mentioned was whether or not we should put a switch and go system on the back of that, just to get a little more versatility out of it, with a little extra investment, but
multi-function, yeah.
you can get a flatbed, you can get a dump body, you can get a dumpster, which would work for a couple of events of the year, but, yeah, it's, that may or may not be happening. Whether we go with diesel or gas is a question. We're preferring gas at this point, just we didn't want the bigger engine if we do that. So you're gonna have all of a sudden limit yourself and most likely end up with just a standard dump body, which is nothing wrong with that. We got trailers and can keep doing that.
I
But
need to get away from death for the in town use. That's just hard on them.
Yep.
Yeah, just not clearing the car.
No, they don't. They don't like it.
yeah, at this
Yeah.
point, I think it's just, we're interested and we've got the reserve fund, so we'll shop around a little bit online and get some different options for the board to consider before the next meeting, probably.
Yeah.
And look to take action on that.
Yeah, it has to happen. Unfortunately, sooner than we anticipated. Oh,
Other than that, looking at unposting roads
Oh, okay.
potentially before the weekend. Things
Yeah,
have
really?
firmed up pretty well on the sides of the road for the
Yeah.
most part.
I haven't been down School Street. Did that turn around at all?
it's
The asphalt, yeah, it's better.
It's better.
I gotta reach out to see whether, I mean, we're not the only town with the issues, but I gotta reach
Yeah.
out to them and kind of see if they have a plan of action for any of it, but specifically here.
That whole show.
Because they're gonna have to do probably some cutting of places and patching more substantially. But as I understand it, we weren't the only state aid road that had such dramatic shifts in the surface.
I think the 3 foot hole has gone down to a 1 foot hole or something now, so.
Right.
Bad.
I put in there in the planning notes, the 1829 last
Mhm.
year passed, had some pretty significant changes in caps on lot size. That we couldn't exceed. I think one of them was like 5,000 square feet if you were outside the growth area but connected to water and sewer. So we couldn't regulate housing at a density of what, 5,000 square feet per unit was the cap. Like we couldn't increase it to go to say 20,000 square foot a unit. And so
Yeah.
there was a few other changes that were flagged by MMA and community input and such. And so the new 2173 was in this year, was the fixed bill, and that increased it outside of a growth area, connected to water and sewer from 5,000 to 10,000 square feet. So basically 4 per acre. By right, and so we'll have a year by next July, July 1 of 27 is when we have to have the ordinances updated to reflect that and the other changes in there, and it spanned multiple, like it'll hit our subdivision, it'll hit land use. So
Yeah,
there's a little bit of work ahead to do that on the heels of what we already did just a couple of years ago from a different bill that forced the question. So anyways, it's timely. I think today, I think they were closing the session today, so there was a mad dash this last week to
get these.
put a lot of things through.
I appreciate your comment here of making a bad bill less bad. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
well, it takes out any, you can set your own ordinances and then it just, they're null and void.
Mhm.
If the state comes back and says, no, we wanna do 10,000, nope, we gotta do 5,000 or whatever. It's that's where the home rule stuff comes into, yeah. Okay.
Other than that, mentioned the PPI, yesterday was the second of the 2 this month. Last Thursday, I think there were about 30 people that attended that meeting,
Yeah.
and then it was about 15 or
Yeah, up to 20 lots.
20 last night.
Was it? Yeah.
Um,
Guys did a good job. Great job. Great job.
had some
Yeah, thank you.
positive feedback from folks on that,
Yeah.
the community that have been able to attend. Had a few more business owners, attend in the last 2 meetings, so that's great. That next step will be May 7th. Do we lock a time in yet for that?
I'm waiting on GSB to confirm the building use permit and then to figure out with Brett what hour and a half he wants, because I reserved like 4
Perfect.
hours. So
I think we were curious to see how the 4:30 worked for folks. It's kind of slightly awkward time for those that haven't gotten out of work yet, but it's not gonna run so far past like the dinner hour and. So we got to debrief on that and work with
Maybe
Brett
that's
on
5
what
o'clock.
we're.
I know you asked about that last night. Nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
It's almost like
5 to 6:30 or 5:30 to 7.
I would, yeah, right in that ballpark. You don't want to do it too late and then it's tough. I mean, you're not gonna hit everybody, but I think you guys did great to get, 50 odd people
We'll take it.
with 2 meetings. I mean, that's, that's twice that we get at a town meeting, so. So.
And hopefully those same people will come back to here and
No,
they
no
won't care
doubt.
what time it is, they'll come because they
Yeah,
wanna come.
no doubt, so.
Yeah, I think with the engineers leading the next one and everything that's gone into it, will be shared with them and kind of they'll tailor a little bit about what they're expecting to get out based on the input that's already been had. So it's not a complete rehashing of the same things.
Yeah.
Hopefully building on, and hopefully there's a lot of energy and thoughts that come out.
I don't know what your thoughts were, but I thought it was great as a board member to listen, just hearing the comments and stuff that went up,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, it
Absolutely,
was,
because those are our
hopefully did a lot more
people.
listening, but, it was, yeah.
We need
It
to
was-
hear
it
what
was
the.
beneficial on many different fronts,
Good.
so.
the residents- we
Yeah.
need to Hear what the residents are thinking, so.
Other than that, do have meeting, Friday with the engineers about the Castner Brook culvert.
Oh, okay,
They've been chipping away at that, list of preliminary engineering. I have to reach out, meet with the 3 property owners that'll have some impacts with temporary construction easements and some, minimal permanent easement requests. And then with Chapman Street on that same vein, touch base with Amanda again, so she's moving forward with the form letters that we've talked about, that we need to get out there, so.
yeah, for the easement, so,
Yeah.
okay. Great.
And yes, at last I knew, we are still waiting for the EDA money.
He's getting ahead of you
I
now,
didn't-
but.
So I
Yeah.
assumed we.
All right.
In the CDS, that was Dan's comment, the CDS funds that are pending. We did hear that it wasn't selected by Representative Pingree. They have been submitted. Dan was like, I hope that's a typo. Yes, they've been submitted to all 3 delegates.
Okay,
We've only heard back from Pingree in which she wouldn't, she's not, has not chosen that project, so. Still 2 others.
this is on the Church Street one,
On
right?
the church, no,
Oh.
the fire truck,
Oh, I'm sorry, you said I was looking at CDS on here, okay. Gotcha, yeah,
yeah, different CDS.
yeah, I know.
For Church Street,
Yeah, this one here, I'm sorry, yeah.
for Church Street, I do wanna work with, Stephen Huffnagel with Coastal Rivers to apply for Northern Borders in the fall. Assuming we can find a way to calculate the economic impact, positive impact that'll have. We gotta make a strong case for it from an economic standpoint. If we feel good about that, we'll apply. It's up to $3 million. Their project estimated total cost has gone up a little bit, since we last applied for the last CDS, as they all do. So I put in some numbers there and it's possible, what we may need to do is we do have enough cash to probably go from the culvert to the light. And it would leave the gap from Hodgson Street back to Pleasant still. But it would mean that we might be able to, if we wanted to be in a position to do it at the same time the culvert was being replaced and have that impact happen once instead of 2 years in a row, that could be considered.
I think that's important.
So, just keep that out there in the back of your mind for now. Yeah, any other questions on the? I do have, I did mention to Eric, Chief Josephson, that we might start getting some numbers together. For the cruiser replacement, not to buy it yet, but to just shop it around. I said by the end of May, it might be good to, get some numbers.
SUV.
They are, yeah, they prefer.
It seems to be
He pulled the crew and they seem to be set on going back to the SUV, so.
Yeah.
You look at a
Put
couple
set of
different,
Explorer, Tahoe, I think of the only.
Durango,
Oh, Durango back as a
Yeah.
police vehicle now?
yeah,
Okay.
the county's got a few, they just got
Oh,
I think I just got a couple, 1 or 2, pursuit rated. I think before they hadn't been, most recently had not been pursuit rated, but for the
Interesting.
last couple of years, I think they have
I
been.
didn't realize that was an option now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see what they come back with, so, okay.
Yeah, Tahoe gets you, and then you get, end up kind of too big again.
Yeah, Tahoes are big,
Exactly.
it's the Explorer size and the Durango B. Yeah,
Yes,
that's big.
Cheaper.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it was last time.
It was, right? The F1, yeah, it was the Tahoe, the F-150 and the Explorer. The
Yeah.
Ford was, the pickup was in the middle. if I
Yeah, they were
remember
all about
Yeah,
5 or 6 grand higher than the other.
Yeah.
But the Tahoe was the highest.
right. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know the Durango was back in the.
But yeah, just to cue that up, kind of the idea that it's still subject to, needing town meeting approval. But giving us the best chance to, get it sooner rather than later, and ideally before next winter, so.
Cool. Anybody have anything, Randy, anything jump out?
Well done.
Right, well, we can move on. All right, let's dive into official action items here. So we have a couple of permits in front of us here. First one here is a qualified catering permit for Stone Cove Catering. I don't think there's anybody here. I know so there. I'm looking around, see if any popped in, but
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. For Stone Cove Catering, and this is at Lakehurst, right? Lakehurst on Monday, September 7th. So everything looks like it's good and in order and filled out. All right. Anybody have any
No
concern questions? All right.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the qualified catering permit for Stone Cove Catering, September 7th at 30 Lakehurst Lane.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Do I have a second?
Second.
Andrew wants to second that one. Awesome. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Okay, all right. It's difficult. Now the second one. All right. So we have a BYOB event permit for Pearl Records LLC, May 6th at Pearl Records at 93 Main Street. So I don't think we've ever had a BYOB permit. I didn't know one existed. So I'm gonna put you, can I bother you guys?
Yeah, I was gonna say, there weren't a lot of options actually.
Yeah.
Because we're not catering it.
Right.
So we don't, so the alternative was, we supply the, beer and wine.
Yeah,
And that's.
and they said it was,
That's BYOB.
that's interesting,
The state
yeah.
actually got back to me before you guys did. and said,
Yeah.
You're good,
We,
you know.
yeah, I mean, and I don't have any problem with it. I read, like, I went to the state and the statutes and I read the statutes and it was like,
Oh, wow.
it was just very strange. Like, what, I didn't.
Why did they send me us here?
Well, right, I didn't even understand like why they make, because the way it reads is like anybody having a bring your own beer, whether it's personal or, I mean, it's very vague in
Yeah.
there and it didn't specify you had like a business. And I'm looking at your stuff going, it's a private event in
Yeah,
a privately owned place, having your, like, why do they need a permit to have people? It doesn't make any, but anyway, I was curious if you'd had to do them before or anything,
no,
so,
no.
Yeah.
They're
First,
First time,
yeah.
yeah.
total guidance from the state.
Sure, sure. No, I mean, you appreciate you doing your due diligence and stuff like that. And I don't question your action. I'm just wondering why why the state doing that, but, no. When, can I ask you when when you're opening up? Are you?
Probably the following week.
Gotcha.
It's just a little
Yeah.
local event.
This is
Right.
for,
Yep.
mostly for people on Main Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I want the other I wanna meet the other business owners. I know a bunch of them, but just to have them all in. Say, what are you doing in here?
yeah, that's great.
You know? Why do you have Sabrina Carpenter in the window?
Yeah, yeah. No, we've been hearing some buzz on Main Street. I knew you've been
It'll be
coming
fun.
out of there, so, yeah.
Yep, so it's
Yeah.
4 to 7, drop in, open house style, just come in if you can, after you close your shop, come in. Yeah.
That's great, though. Awesome, guys. Anybody have any questions?
I have no.
Concerns? No? No, I don't have anything. I'll make a motion to approve the BYOB event permit for Pearl Records LLC for May 6, 2026 at 93 Main Street.
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Andrea. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, you're good to go. That was
Please come by.
painless. Yeah, we're looking forward to you guys being opened up, so we have plenty of vinyl in there?
A lot
Oh,
of,
yeah.
a lot of music, good shots.
That's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to
I
it.
think the children, the
Kids,
people, they're very excited
Yeah,
about
that's-
it.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff for little kids too.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But also, every day, I'm sorry, I don't mean to drag it out.
No, you're fine.
Every day I see
Yeah.
the Lincoln Academy kids, they only walk on the sunny side,
Yeah,
like none of them, and I'm like, what? My people.
Get 'em over. Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, we'll have to make a detour, like the
Yeah.
pothole in the sidewalk, get them over there
Yeah.
for you. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly.
I had,
Yeah.
all my sign permits were done, with Mike.
Mhm.
So, the signage is next week,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that'll make a huge.
That will, yeah,
Yeah.
once the sign gets out there, that.
Yep.
I hope there's something here, so. Nice, so. Well, I don't own a CD player, or anything. I only own a record player.
All right.
Yeah, so,
We'll sell record players and speakers.
Yeah. yeah, that's cool.
Oh, great.
Entry level stuff.
Looking forward, good addition to Mazer, looking forward, and hope the event
Thank you.
goes well, so, awesome, cool. You guys are more than welcome to hang out, do they need, there's nothing to sign or?
I assume, I haven't seen one, but I assume it's the same state
Same
kind of
thing as
thing,
the-
so we'll just, you sign it, Becky will scan it and.
Yeah, that's
Be good to go.
Pretty straightforward, so, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, guys, thank you. You're more than welcome to stay through the rest of the excitement, but you don't have to if you need to get
No,
to
you
work,
definitely
so.
Yeah.
I would run while you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't stay on our account if you need to get going. Well, let's move on to, we have some, budget committee nominations, folks, and, yeah. Unless you want to get nominated for the budget committee while you're here.
Watch out.
Watch that.
Oh, all right, so, yeah, same, basically the same ones we considered, but last meeting, we gave a couple more weeks and.
So
We have some,
we need 6, but we have 5.
we have 5 right now, yeah,
Okay.
so I think we'll move,
One
yeah,
more.
yeah, and then if somebody comes along, we can do that, so.
Okay.
I would propose, and I think Dan had reached out too, and this made sense to me, but, I would like to make a motion to appoint, let's see, Larry Seilinger for the term ending in 28. Susan McAllister, Leah Puckey, and Connie Magistrelli for the term ending in 2029, and Jenny Beegan for the alternate term ending in 27. Does that sound good to you guys? I do. Okay, all right, so that's my motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right, there's gonna second it. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, and opposed?
All 5?
That's all 5 in there.
Okay.
Yep. That's all 5. We have the annual town meeting warrant. We got, yes, okay, I had to double check that one section got switched back around, Andy.
That got switched, I had to remove the, article for the charter, update. Amanda had asked if we had put the public notice out, it requires like 2 or something weeks before the warrant set.
Right.
So around that time. I
Okay,
was forgetting that, kind of like, we have the warrant article, just.
that's
dust it
for
off,
the
Put it in,
RSU.
yeah, so we'll aim for that for November, there'll still be a big turnout in November, so.
Yeah, we can get it then. Yeah, because we had it, last year we didn't have enough people anyway.
Yeah.
To move it.
Yeah, last year was more about get the article drafted so it can go on there. This year I just had to dust it off
Yeah.
and put it in, just forgot that we had to do a separate process to put it on the article, on the
Yeah,
warrant.
gotcha. We'll forgive you.
Apologize for that.
You're forgetting.
We'll forgive you. All right, anybody see anything there's jumping out? Folks, everything look okay? Yeah. Yeah. Same thing there, so,
Few pages for a lot of discussion.
yeah, okay.
We did,
Who's up for re-election on the select board this year?
Dan and I, those 2 terms, yeah, 2 seats, yeah.
so Article 43 has been, it was, I think, 2 before and kind of combined it into one. One was specifically if we sell a vehicle, the any excess revenue from that sale,
Mhm.
essentially that we generate would go into the specific reserve account. Whereas if we sold surplus equipment, the select board just would determine where it went. So I was like, well, whether it's surplus equipment, a vehicle, whatever's afforded to us through statute, if the voters approve that. Had worded, it's like we sold the guns, for example, for the PD. they're gonna buy new ones in that case, and so the board could put that into their reserve. So they're kind of like, why is it really two articles? What could be potentially one?
One,
But,
yeah,
so that's a minor change.
Okay. yeah, to the respective capital operating, that's simplifies it.
Yeah.
The only other one that was different to flag had to do with Article 30. Not 8. There was one that we added to be considered for. Yeah, 29, page 27. Article 29, to authorize the select board to transfer any
Oh.
unspent health insurance expenses from the current fiscal year to the payroll liability reserve.
Yeah.
So we anticipate a couple of those like highway both have a buyout option, and so
Mhm.
we had assumed it was gonna be. I think ×2 for the full premium, but so that in that example, the board would then have the authority to transfer any unspent from kind of that line into the reserve account that's already been created instead of trying to
Yeah.
raise from taxation this year. We had talked about that in the budget
Yeah.
process.
Right.
So that article would allow for that. Article 30 was just asking us because we had a parking lot reserve and a
Right, that.
waterfront reserve. The waterfront reserve primarily being for the EDA project. In addition, there was a bathroom reserve, which also was for that. Once the project funding reimbursement comes back to us from EDA, that last one, we'll be able to settle that waterfront account and the bathroom account. Any potential residual, positive balance can be discussed next year. But in this case, the parking lot reserve exists. It wasn't super clear exactly what its parameters or boundaries were
Yeah,
spent, so we're
yeah.
restating that. And wanting to include the EV chargers and I think harbor infrastructure, we really just got the flagpole, I guess, in the floats.
Mhm. No, that makes sense. We talked about that before, put it all in there, and then you've got 31, right?
31, yeah, so if the EV chargers is projected and certainly our hopes is that they generate revenue for us, unless the expenses to operate that is its intent here is to be able to take any excess revenue specifically generated and kind of more like a special revenue account, be able to put those revenues into
Yeah.
the reserve, which would help
Yeah.
in the future be able to replace those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all good, Danny. Thanks for adding those in. It's good. Cool, all right. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? No. So I suppose we probably ought to approve this, huh?
Becky, yeah, we really appreciate that. Kind of pushed our deadline here.
Let's wait a.
Have to submit it tomorrow, I believe, to be able to guarantee we'll have 30 days.
Yeah.
In advance. The petitions were just due Monday for elected officials, so.
All right.
Okay.
I will, let me see, we have. Trying to remember if I approve this warrant, we gotta do the date on it. Do I have to do the time and?
I could just approve, you added the slate of the nominations for the budget committee, but.
Yeah.
Could approve the warrant as amended,
Yeah. And then I'll just read the, yeah, cause I can just read the top up here. So, all right, so, if somebody else wants to, I'll, make a motion to approve the, annual town meeting warrants, for fiscal year 2027. As amended and as presented. How does that sound?
Sure.
All right, is that good for you? Yeah.
Second.
Darrell seconds, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, we're good. Yeah, looks good. Get it in just in the nick of time. All right, that brings us to the LED lighting upgrade. So that was the addition here. Andy tossed that to us. He's got some numbers and a updated memo.
Yeah, I tried to, work with folks. I had one that came in just early this morning, so I wanted to give them the chance to do it. I think it was like just under a 2-week turnaround time when I'd reached out to them to get these to us. So, had three companies that I'd reached out to that were on efficiency mains list that are all, fairly, pretty much local. one had given us a quote early on when we applied for the grant, but hadn't actually responded to the RFP that went out last year. None of these companies had responded last year, so we went back and called them. A couple of them were interested at the time, but didn't, and so the state allowed us to follow our charter provision, basically, which the board has the right to waive the bid policy. Anything over 15 grand would is RFP. Soliciting these quotes allowed me to be able to just be able to talk with them. Two of them came in and walked the buildings with us. The other one had walked it previously and said, anything changed? I said, no. So we got it with that. For the town office building, you'll see there on the table in the back of that memo. The quote for the town office ranged from $10,270.77 to $11,880.34. The efficiency main incentives are estimates. Could change slightly, but that's where they're all in the ballpark. Lakeside having a higher than the other two. But with the incentives, we would apply for those, and then the state would send us the rebate. So you can see there the total cost when you take those into account. Tomorrow's the low bid, low quote with $9,278.77 to upgrade the town office. That gets us every fixture inside and two outside. We're gonna replace those kind of halides that are on the side over there with LEDs. For the fire station, one of them had not provided a quote for that, so we have just the two for the fire station. And Midcoast Energy was the low one on that with a price at $14,622. The incentive value is estimated at $32.94, so the total cost would be $11,328. We have been awarded $50,000 from the community action grant. The remaining balance of that would be able to go towards the installation at the fire station.
Oh, that's great.
So I just need to get a little more firmed up with John. We had gotten a couple of names, or at least one name from a company that would be most, someone had worked with them in the area, and they're out of Portland, I think it is. But one of the challenges, we put it out to bid before and no one bid on the job. And so trying to find an installation company to come in, we could source the material and just buy it, but then it has to be installed before the end of this period to be expended from the grant fund. And so the question is whether or not we can get someone separate from that purchase to do it, or if we needed to do some sort of major volunteer effort to do that. But at least with these numbers, we have a little more clarity on what's left. We can go from there.
Looks like there would be a nice amount left.
Yeah, we're 92 and 11, so yeah, 21, roughly 21,000.
Yeah.
So we've got 30, and not
Yeah,
quite
I think
30,
so.
29,000. I mean,
So we're going.
the one from tomorrow was for this building. It did note in their quote that should there be a need to rewire. Now, I don't know the likelihood that there would be. These were all put in early 2000, about 20 years ago. The style that's being proposed by at least a couple of the companies would be to switch like these lights, for example, they call it 2x4, to go to a 2x2. But with the LED and the higher output, would still cover the same lighted footprint and be more efficient.
Yeah.
These are.
So
monsters.
we did look up above,
That's
there's
right, yes, so.
about 4 to 6 inches above the tiles there to work with. And so they thought there was enough room to put those 2x2s up into the,
Oh, to put them in the tile.
Yeah.
so they wouldn't hang below. So in the building, in some cases they are flush, sometimes some places they aren't. Fire station's a bit different. They've got both in the Bay Area and then the administrative kind of side. There's just two different types. In the Bay Area, they're all tubes with cages on them.
Terrible.
And the other side, they're more like this. So
Yeah.
that one's a much bigger project.
Yeah, lighting in there.
We're encouraged to cover it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, recommendation based on what we've got here would be to work with tomorrow potentially on the town office and Midcoast Energy Systems for the fire station.
That sounds fair. Anybody have any questions or concerns? No, yeah. Pretty reasonable.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion to move to authorize the town manager to execute contract with Morrow Electric for the purpose of replacing and upgrading light fixtures at the town office.
A second.
Do you wanna do, oh, you're a second, okay, we do it two motions, right? The town office,
We
yeah,
don't want that in one.
it's up to you, we can, or we can do it. We've got a second anyway, so we'll do the first one, yeah, so, discussion, all those in favor? Okay, yeah, and you wanna do the second part there?
Sure.
Get the,
I would love to.
I'll get the fire station in there too.
I'll make a motion to move to authorize the town manager to execute a contract with Midcoast Energy Systems for the purpose of replacing and upgrading light fixtures at the fire station.
Awesome,
Second.
Andrew, yeah. All those in favor? Okay, cool. We're good, all right, so the action items are good, and then,
So Andy, when is this grant, when is the grant deadline to be used?
By July 1.
Okay, so we really need to work on the fire station installation.
Yeah.
Okay.
we do have, and you want me to pass these out, is this? Sure. Me too, give a little sort of background, we have, apparently we've been being disorderly here. We get, we can pass it down, Daryl there, I'll give them to you. There's a loose leaf and then there's a, get there, or a complete ordinance, so. All right.
Okay.
All right, and Andy, this came in from the chief?
Yep,
Okay.
police chief wanted me to share this, with the board. There was another policy of which he printed this morning and gave to me, and I'm away upstairs, and admittedly, I lost it. That one he was hoping might even possibly pass today. That was a social media policy, which we've never really had, but we have social
Okay.
media accounts and wanting to be able to moderate the, what's being posted by the public in response to some of our posts. Not unique, we're not the first town to be doing this, we're probably one of the, towards the back end here, but, wanting to put that in place so folks are clear in understanding what our expectation and guidelines are, what's our policy around posting. And if there is, things that are posted in reaction to our comments on our pages, that we'd have the ability then, without violating their rights, to remove certain types of posts when they use certain language or, accusatory type things.
Yeah.
And then this year, different, this is kind of in response to, in the past, where we've had some property, mostly tenants at properties, who warrant repeated call outs for
Okay.
being disorderly. But the property owners aren't doing much to dissuade or try and eliminate the problem. And I think of it in some ways, kind of like your false alarm ordinance we have.
Okay.
Deal with the alarm, folks. It comes to a point where it's kind of a nuisance on our end. Our resources are being spent in some cases, maybe too many times or too many hours spent going to somewhere where it's just something else should be happening. With the issues that keep arising. I'll let him, if he's able to make the next meeting, kind of explain it a little more
I was gonna
detail.
say,
but
yeah,
Wanted to give it to you to be able to read it. This is Waldeboro's. I did reach out to the manager over there and asked how it went. So it passed overwhelmingly at town meeting when it was presented a few years ago. They do use it, and just the threat of it being applied to someone when it's triggered, has been enough to seem to have straightened a few of the things out they've dealt with.
Okay.
So I think there's certainly some questions, but I just wanted to share that as part of a discussion to let you kind of read through that, get your some thoughts together, and the next meeting, we'll see if he can.
I was gonna say,
Stay and-
if you could on behalf of the board, I'd like to invite him to because it'd be great to see, and just get an overall update. I know he's been busy, but it'd be good to maybe give us a briefing, and then he can go into this a little bit, whatever he wants to.
Yeah, once I get the social media, when I'll
Yeah.
send that out, I can get that out to you tomorrow, so you can at least see it before
Sure.
in advance of the next meeting. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, we'd love to have him at a meeting, so. Okay. So this is, because it'd be interesting to see if he's identified some, in his time so far, he's seen some need for this, or identified some stuff from input from the officers and whatnot.
Yes. Yep.
So there's a purpose behind it,
Yeah.
I'm guessing, it doesn't have to get into details, but,
But it's also a
Yeah.
great idea.
yeah.
Yep.
So he's looking at some stuff for a reason, so that's great, but,
But it seems to be
Yes.
oriented to repeat offending.
Yes,
that's what, yeah.
Right.
So he's hereby cordially invited
right.
to the next select board meeting. How's that sound?
Okay. And we'll have a chance to peruse this.
Great,
All right.
great, okay. Yeah, is that it?
Impossible.
You sneak anything in the end?
I
No?
don't think I'm forgetting
He's been
anything.
quiet.
Possibly I've forgotten something, but I don't.
Emer's
think I
has
did.
been quiet, she's been just, yeah,
Just
hiding back in the corner. Nothing
No.
to report. You've had meetings, you're good. Yeah, we don't need to, I'm not gonna, you don't have to present, so.
We'll share, while she's there, we had a fairly lengthy conversation this afternoon, Emerson, Michael and I about the strategic plan. Still,
Oh.
working through kind of like a more structured framework for an internal use, to be able to map out,
Okay,
Mhm.
essentially like how we can account for staff doing what when and to kind of map,
Yeah.
a work plan, basically. So trying to come up with a framework for, this idea about, projects and making sure there's defined purposes and outcomes and it's all clear. So kind of looking at it both as like a public facing piece, but then what's the internal working piece? So that way we can hold ourselves accountable for delivery dates and outcomes, that kind of thing, but also the metrics and how do we measure success? Milestones are generally easy to identify, but it's like, okay, we've done it, but how do we know it worked? How, and what's the ultimate goals, like within sub goals within that? I was mentioning, it was an easy one, the idea, the desire to have the board to have more public engagement. So we could certainly track that across anything that involves the public, whether it's newspaper articles and notices or social media posts or attendance at meetings that we do. There's ways that we could learn and start tracking that as a metric for that to be able to report out. So it's not just, oh, we did it, but and here's how many attended. Or if we survey folks, and here's the satisfaction of that program. So it's really in the weeds essentially and trying to make sure that it's not just a completed, not completed kind of measurement as we've sometimes had in the past. And so we are actively still working through that. The idea being we'll have, that in place for the start of the fiscal year. We'll be able to have that tool going through next budget cycle, next planning cycle, to start looking and maybe talking about the budget in a slightly different way, given all the aspirations and desires of the community and where that ends up being in conflict sometimes with, tax rate and cost of things. So if we can come at and look at it from the perspective of this is really important. We value this, we want to see this happen. But we can't increase more than 3%. It's like we can have a different conversation about what things we're gonna have to put off for another year, maybe. Versus just find it and cut it. So really looking at staff time and those things is also the limiting resource and how do we allocate that time to do certain things.
Yeah, that's the question is what can we actually get done at the existing staff level?
Mhm.
And
In-house,
how can volunteers do
Right.
and all of that.
yeah.
Am I missing anything in the big picture on that or?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's a question of how can we make sure this aligns with what staff can currently do at the capacity we currently have, and then how do we bring in those partners and connect with them and recognize their expertise to help us along the way. We're looking forward to making kind of like some standardized metrics that can be applied to any project that we do, that folks who are working on it can kind of pick and choose what applies, report on, and then at the same time make just some standard protocols for, hey, when the town posts, has an event, here's how you post, how often, where it goes, here's who gets noticed, and that will help us keep track as well. So I think probably in the next month or so that will come your guys' way.
That's great.
And we'll share more about how we expect that to be used. I think we're meeting again in like a week and a half to check some progress and then review with staff, and we'll go from there.
Nice, awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you
Rose.
guys. Any discussion items this evening, folks?
So I have one comment too that's very interesting. Someone was so excited about how well lit up the new roundabout is.
Oh,
Like, they were just like thrilled that you could see the,
gotcha. Yeah,
yeah. I was
Good,
really,
good.
I was pleased that
This,
you know, it had some positive.
And the new
feedback.
signage is there.
I was just gonna ask it, is the
New
signage there?
It is.
Okay,
It is.
okay,
I
good,
would
so it's
check.
well lit, the signage is awesome.
Signage, no,
Speed limit
Yeah.
dropped to 35 on the approach and
Yeah.
suggested
Exactly.
15, I believe, through the circle.
Yeah,
so
And
that's great.
in another 6 months, it'd be like it's always been there.
Mhm.
Yeah. This, so, that's
Yeah,
good.
there's quite a few
Okay,
positive comments about it, so.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
My other question is. I assume that like drones are legal,
Mhm.
right? Because the other night, one went flying over my backyard, Sally's backyard, went all around our neighborhood, and we're like. It's not a helicopter.
It's a very small helicopter. Yeah.
It's actually someone in our backyard.
Yeah,
And it was kind of creepy.
yeah. It is, yeah. I think, I'm not an expert on it, but there's different height, levels where they get into FFA stuff and you have to be
Mhm.
licensed and lower ones, but yeah, it's an interesting one where, I mean, folks have concerns about drones flying over properties and
Yeah.
I
like,
think
it's a
I think you're in
little
airspace,
intrusive.
so it's,
I
yeah,
say it's a little intrusive, so.
yeah.
Just putting that comment there.
I know you can't shoot them down, you get in trouble.
And it's regulated by
There's
the
been plenty,
FAA.
there's been plenty of people that have done that and it doesn't go, so I'm saying that as a, don't.
I think my water gun's gonna do much good.
It doesn't go over well, though, yeah. Oh, boy,
Okay.
yeah.
With that in mind, I
Yeah.
guess we're just gonna
I
have
know.
to live with the drones.
Yeah.
Okay.
They may be dropping, you might the package, sometimes they drop, packages on
Amazon.
Amazon, yeah, you might get something. They have
They say. they
in different
are,
areas, yeah,
right?
but they do delivery, yeah.
Mm.
But cities, they use them for like food delivery and things and said, yeah, it's weird, yeah.
I have nothing.
You good down there? Yeah, so, I'd like to say that the walking presence of the officers has been a big positive feedback, for folks downtown. They really like seeing, the folks out on
They do.
on foot patrol,
They do.
especially downtown, so that's been well received from what I've heard
I
anyway,
have
and,
to, yes.
and I
And they're
think.
shocked to see them.
Well, it's positively, right?
Yeah.
And I think and this is anecdotal, but talking to the officers, I think they're enjoying it.
Hmm.
Getting out and talking to people, so it seems like they're,
Our little converse.
yeah, it seems like they're enjoying it as well, so it's been good, but, so kudos to them on that, and then, that's all I have. Nothing, groundbreaking, so. I guess if there's nothing else there, we have to sign papers.
Yeah.
But we can, entertain a moment, a motion to adjourn if somebody wants to make one. Right, right. You got a second? Okay, all those in favor? Good, okay, that is it for tonight, folks. So